as well. Hi.
Hi.
So today we have Jess Booning, who is a
Yes.
human design specialist, and will be hosting an event for our Yoga for Men program, a human design workshop.
Yes.
So Jess is going to tell us a little bit about human design then. What's human design, Jess? Well,
What's-
how did you get into human design, firstly?
Whoa.
Everything's okay.
Okay, we continue. All right. How I got into human design. So I've always been very fascinated by people in general, just like people's behavior, like communication. How are people different? What motivates one person? Why are we not all the same, etc. So I've always been studying a lot of different systems and tools, and just a couple of years ago I came across human design, and I thought it was so fascinating. I tried it out for myself. It worked, like it was super accurate. I tried it out with like people around me, and I was just amazed of like how accurate it is, how well it describes people, how it can help people, and yeah, I just have been obsessed with it ever since.
So when you say it was accurate for
Yeah.
you, what did human design tell you?
All right, yeah, so let me explain maybe a bit what human design is.
Even better.
Yeah.
You'd be great at podcasting.
Right. All right, so yeah, it's a system, it's a tool for self-development that basically helps you reconnect back to yourself. So the idea of human design is that we all have our specific essence. We're all unique. You don't need human design for that. But what human design does, it gives you like a roadmap or like a blueprint of how you function best. Like how you are deep down inside, what your essence is before all the conditioning that you've picked up in childhood. And it helps you to like reconnect to who you are. So for that reason, a reading is always very fun for people because it's never like new information. It's always like people really recognize themselves. And then once you understand yourself better and like how your energy works, what you are meant to be doing, what your innate like skills and qualities are, the idea behind human design is that the more you live as your true self and the more you express like those specific qualities that are unique to you, the more your life will feel like at ease. You will feel more in flow, you will experience less resistance, and you will attract like the right people, opportunities, and chances. That's the idea.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it is great. It is very
I was like, wow. So
Yeah.
when you first tell people that you do human design, they get very interested, I'd imagine, because people get very interested when they can find out more about themselves.
About
right?
themselves, yeah. People love to hear about themselves
Yeah.
and talk about themselves. In the beginning, when I was talking about human design, like people thought I was a bit crazy, actually. But now I think it has gained a lot of popularity, and I think that's because people see that it actually works. And yeah, like I said, people who are interested, who I'm doing a reading with, they usually really enjoy it because they finally understand how they are different or how they are different from their partner. They finally see, that things that they were taking personal before from people around them have nothing to do with them. It also like gives you this sort of like permission to be yourself, or you suddenly understand why you are different, or things that you've tried to do just like your parents or your friends that don't work for you.
Can we go back to the point there about not taking a person personally, which is one of my primordial rules of existence. If you can
Okay.
learn to not take things personally, you can improve massively,
Definitely.
right? And until you can do that, you're struggling.
Hola.
Dale. Amy, mi vecino.
Okay.
Um, how does human design help you stop taking things personally?
Yeah, good question. So, since it's so, your blueprint is unique to you. There are a couple of energy types, which I can explain later, but your blueprint is specific to you. So, if you understand how you work and how you respond to certain things or what comes natural to you, but then you get a reading from your partner or whoever else you're dealing with, and you see that they work very different, then if something you would have taken personal before, because you cannot imagine that you would do that to someone else, or you could not Maybe you should think of an example.
I was going to ask you for an
Yeah.
example here.
Yeah, let me think. Let me think if I can think of something that is like very specific. Um, I don't know. I would have to get back to this later, I think.
Okay, so
Well,
but let's go into the different types of people that you find, and then give an example of the different types of what you call them,
sure.
archetypes,
Energy
right?
types.
So
Energy
there's different
types.
energy types, and explain how maybe two different energy types might disagree over something.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. All right. So I think I need to like explain this a bit from the beginning.
I love it from the beginning. That's the way we hear here. Pleaful float. Pleaful float.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
That's
Sure.
later. By the way, I want to tell you something why playful growth matches so well with something in your design, but
Okay.
we can keep that for later. Okay, so human design is also called the science of your aura, because what we're speaking about here is energy. So the different energy types, they have different aura types. That's the main difference. So to explain quickly what someone's aura is, like for some people that's really a normal word to say. For other people, I've realized in readings that maybe this sounds weird to them. But I think we all have experience with like picking up a vibe from someone, right? So I think we all have experience with like good vibes or bad vibes. Like when someone enters the room and you can feel like this weird vibe, or you feel like something is off, or the other way around, like when someone has like a very nice and like warm energy. What you usually pick up on then is that someone is either being like very authentic and like is acting like in accordance to their like energetic nature, or the other way around, if they're like they have a lot of resistance, or they just they present themselves differently than who they are deep down inside. What we sense there, this vibe is like vibrational frequency. This is the aura of someone. So we are now in each other's aura, right? It's like 2 arms length around everyone. So the different energy types, there are 5.
There's a distance.
Yeah, like your aura is like, it's like 2 arms length around you. So we are now in each other's aura. So if you walk down in the supermarket or in the street, like we're constantly like, our auras are constantly like interconnecting.
Sounds filthy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's very
No,
cool.
no, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so the 5 energy types have like very different auras. So let me start with well, the energy types. There are 2 that are similar. Those are the generator and the manifesting generator. They share the same aura type, but the energy is different. Together, they make up around 70% of the population. So most people you see will be generators or manifesting generator. I'm a generator. You're either a generator or a manifesting generator, because we're not 100% sure, but we share the same aura type. So a generator is someone with a lot of energy. They have, so to say, like their own like battery or like gas tank of energy that they have. And in the morning, when they've slept well, they're full of energy. They spend their energy the whole day. They work, they create, they build until that tank is empty. They go to bed, they rest, they recharge, and they do the same thing the next day. Those are generators or manifesting generators. What is important for this energy type is that they actually do the things that light them up, that their gut feeling is, or like their gut is excited. Because this energy tank is called the sacral center, and it's a center for like desire, passion, creativity. And as long as you do things that like light you up, that give you energy, you will be regenerating this energy. That's why it's called generator. So that is 70% of the population. So for this group or this energy type, like our classical way of like how society was organized, like working 8 hours a day, that's fine, because we have this sustainable energy and we can do that, right? So the generators are the builders. Whenever generators live in alignment, so they do what they like to do, what excites them, they will feel satisfied. This is the signature feeling that they are living who they are, who they came to be. They will feel satisfaction. If they don't, if they are depleting their energy, or they are doing things that that they actually don't want to be doing, like they're pleasing others, or they do things that feel like shoots or obligations, what they will feel like is like this feeling of frustration, of being stuck, and eventually that can lead to burnout. All right. So these are the generators and manifesting generators. Oh, and their aura type.
What's the difference between a generator and a manifesting generator?
Let me explain that to you.
Thank you. That's what I like.
Yes. Yeah, here you can see, because I really thought you would be a manifesting generator, but let's see. So a generator, so both of us, the generators and the manifesting generator, have this sustainable energy, right? They have this motor that they can use to work. A generator usually has a more like linear path towards mastery, or towards the thing that they do. So usually in their lives, they don't need to be doing the same thing all the time, but it's usually like one direction, or like one red thread in their life, right? For example, if I take myself as an example, I've worked almost 10 years for the same company. Like I started in a junior position, and I always like worked myself up. So this is very linear. This is very much generator-like. They're not very quick to pivot. Once they're like on a direction, they're like a big like diesel truck, you know. They're not
Have
very
momentum.
flexible. Yeah. Whereas a manifesting generator, they have that same battery, that same energy, sustainable energy. However, they're a bit quicker and a bit more flexible, and they can pivot quicker. And usually they are multi-passionate, so they usually have a lot
Multi-passionate.
multi-passionate.
Tell me about being multi-passionate.
Well, it's basically that you have a lot of different interests that you're doing. The typical manifesting generator will do like 10 projects at the time, and then has like 10 hobbies and like side business, and just basically never gets tired. Yeah, that's why I had to think of you. Hola.
Hola, Yorani. Hay mucha gente en letras hoy.
No pasa nada. Hola. So a manifesting generator has like a lot of different interests. They are usually, they get excited about things and enthusiastic about things, but they don't necessarily see them through always.
That's why I have a team.
Right, exactly. That's very good. So they have a lot of passions. They're very quick. They can pivot better than generators, and yeah, they have a lot of interest and a lot of energy. Like these people, these are this energy type that has most energy and is like very quick. So that's the main difference. The purpose of a generator is to build and create and lift other people up. And the purpose of a manifesting generator is the same, but then also to find shortcuts to mastery. Yeah, to do things in a more, like in a new way, to initiate new things. Right?
I like manifesting generators much more than generators. They're way cooler.
Yeah, well, there's not really like a good or bad. I mean, best is
There are clearly.
we're not even sure if you're a manifesting generator.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'd be very disappointed. But okay.
Well,
So
it depends. We need your mom for your...
my mom, she's Irish, you know, she's not really into this sort of thing. I call her, she's like, "Hi, what's it all about, James? Come on."
Yeah, no, you should try to get a hand on your birth certificate.
Okay.
Then we can be sure, but otherwise you're a generator. In any
Okay,
case, you
so
have a lot
what's the time gap then for me being a generator and a manifesting
I
generator?
looked up because it's usually like somewhere during the day it has to switch like from one to the other, and I looked up your birth time and like the range until like 11:35 it was generator, and then from 11:35 onwards it was manifesting generator.
For how long till it turns into something else?
That depends.
But like,
different.
is there like 4 or 5 hour gaps, or does it change every hour?
I'm not exactly sure about that. I think per day there's usually like 1 or 2 or 3 options. Like it has to change at some point.
Okay.
But the rest of your chart, because the energy type is just the main thing, but then the rest of your chart there's like way more specific things. It stays more or less the same. So I could still tell you something about you later. So
You're teasing me here with this potential information. I could tell you something. Do I know this thing about myself already?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but let's continue with the energy types. Like keep a structure, right? This is another thing in human design. Like I'm structured and organized.
I noticed.
You are too, by the way.
Am I?
According to your design, yeah.
Wow, that's well hidden.
Well, yeah, that's the idea of human design. Also, that like maybe you're very conditioned. That you think that Maybe you're very conditioned that you think that you're not organized, or there's a reason that something happened, or
Yeah, okay, that's an interesting point. So there's a difference between what our essential nature is and then how strong conditioning can be.
Exactly.
And override that without us. And it seems that we have embedded this conditioning into our nature, but actually it's a
Exactly.
false path.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've when we grow up, like no one grows up without trauma, and what we learn when we grow up sometimes is that like certain parts of ourselves that are part of this essence were maybe shamed, or you learned as a child that it was not good to act that way, and you've kind of like hidden that part of yourself, right? And you took on this conditioning, and maybe you grew up and you thought that that's who you are, right? As some kind of like survival mechanism. But then you're not really truly living out who you came to be. So it's harder for the universe to like get you the right things, because it's like almost like as if it's not recognizing your true essence of your soul, right? All right. So the generator and the manifesting generator. To finish this off, remember that all the types have different aura types. The aura.
What color is my aura? Do I have a color?
You do, but this is not part of human design, so I have no idea. I cannot see auras. But what I can tell you is like what kind of aura you have. And generators and manifesting generators share the same aura, which is like an enveloping aura, which feels very nice for other people when a generator is in alignment. So when someone is really doing what they're passionate about, their energy, their aura should feel like a warm hug. Something is like enveloping that you want to have more of. Or you could see it as like a hurricane, that's pulling things inward. That's our aura. All right, this is about 70% of the population. Next energy type is the projector. These people, it's way less. It's 20-something% of the population. It's a newer energy type, and they function very differently. So where the generator and the manifesting generator have this like sustainable energy, like this battery that they have, that they use up during the day, projectors don't have that. They don't have this sustainable energy of their own, so they need more rest. They actually kind of recharge when they are around generators. They kind of take in and amplify the energy of the generators and manifesting generators around them. So that means that for a projector, like our standard way of doing things, like working 8 hours a day, for example, is actually not aligned. And usually projectors are very interested in human design, and it's very helpful for them, because then when they get a reading, they finally understand that what they have tried to do like their whole lives, like keeping up with generators and manifesting generators, is just not correct for them. So usually they've taken on like ideas that they are lazy, or that they cannot do certain things, and then when they've burned out, and then when they finally realize this, they can like adapt their lives. So where generators and manifesting generators are here to like build things and create things, projectors are more sensitive type, and they are here to see things. They see things really well in a way that other energy types don't see things. The reason is that they don't have this energy, so they need to be way more efficient with their energy. And for this reason, they have an eye for efficiency, and they can really like see through people or see through systems or companies or services.
I met a projector recently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They have a very specific energy. Once you know it a bit, you can tell. So their aura is like penetrative. It goes outward. And
they tell you things like, ow.
Exactly, yes.
Ow.
Exactly. They say like they can see like through your soul. So it's very good to have a projector in your team, for example, because they can like point out things that could be improved, right? The thing with projectors though is that because they see everything so well, often they want to tell people because they want to help people. But not everyone is ready to hear, how they can be better. So for that reason, projectors should really wait. It's called wait for the invitation. It's like a strategy that all energy types have. They should wait to be invited to like share their knowledge. Otherwise, they will encounter resistance. So yeah, this is a very cool energy. Well, all energy types are cool actually. They say that the projectors are like the CEOs of the future because they're not really like authoritarian leaders, but they're like very gentle and they're basically like guiding the energy of others. So yeah, they have a penetrative aura. Yeah, and they should be valued. They should be recognized for what they see, how they see things, right? Then we have the fourth energy type, which is the manifester. Those are only like 7 or 8% of the population. There are less and less manifestors. So the manifestors were said to be like the old leaders, like the old conquerors and kings and queens. And it's quite an authoritarian energy type, and they have a very specific aura. So where the generators and the manifesting generators had like this warm, like enveloping aura, the projector has like this outgoing, penetrative aura that sees through people. The manifester actually has, yeah, they call it repelling aura, which doesn't sound very nice, but it's like as if they have like a thick layer of aura around them to protect them. The reason that they need protection is because they are not for everyone. They are usually, like very specific type of person. And
Can you give me an example?
yeah, so what they're here for is they're here to initiate. They are here to put things, manifest things into action. But they are not the ones who actually have to execute. That should be the generators and the manifesting generators. And manifestors is usually like you either like them or you don't like them. Yeah, I'm thinking of famous manifestors, and then I always have to think of like Hitler and Putin, but those are like
Elon Musk?
Probably, I think so. I would have to look that up. But I think so. Yes, it's like visionary people, indeed.
Visionary people who a lot of people dislike.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they basically should just find the people that are their people, and the other ones will be repelled by their aura, right? They just have a very specific presence. Because they're meant to like surround themselves with the right group of people that they can lead. So it is said that like in the old times, like I said, these manifestors would be like the conquerors, and then the generators and the manifesting generators would be like their soldiers who would like execute their plans, right? What else can I say about the manifester? No, I'll get to that later. So now we had 4, and then there is a 5th energy type that is a very specific and rare energy type that I think is only 1% of the population, and that is a reflector. I've never met any reflectors in my life, but they say that when you meet a reflector, that it's very clear that these people are usually people that are like mediums or that like are very open.
You've never met a reflector?
I've never met a reflector. No.
I'm meeting a reflector on Tuesday, I think.
How do you know?
Next Tuesday. Well, she is a mystic.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, there's a good chance she's a reflector,
Yeah.
right? Someone who's channeling the energies. I don't know. This is my question, you know?
Yeah.
Channeling energy, past life regressions, these kind of things. Is that the kind of role you would find a reflector on?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be
Sure.
a reflector, because it's very rare. But to explain this a bit better, so human design, this is good to mention by the way, it's like a combination of a lot of different things, right? So it's like, it combines like Western science with like more ancient traditions. So it's based on astrology, the I Ching, Kabbalah, the chakra system, and then also genetics and quantum physics. So since it's based partially on astrology as well, the moon and the sun influence as well. So all the other energy types, but the reflectors are solar beings, and then the reflector is like a lunar being. So it means that they are more, they live more in accordance with the moon cycles. So
Genius, whoever came up with this.
Yeah.
Genius. Just mix it all in together.
Right. Well, you will see, or I don't know if you will, but
I like it, but
yeah.
I mean, it's like if I was going to come up with a new system, and I was like, what would people like? Let's take some quantum physics, some I Ching, let's throw in some moon
Exactly,
and
a
some
bit of
sun,
everything, yeah.
some different characters from a Lord of the Rings novel, and
Right.
off we go.
Exactly, yeah. So no, reflectors are like very open, because what human design is based on partly is also the chakra system, as I said. So there are like different energy centers that align with the chakras, and you have some of them either defined or undefined, which I can explain later. But reflectors have everything open, so they are super sensitive. They take in energy from others. They're very aligned with the moon. For them to make a decision, it is best to wait a full moon cycle. Yeah, so it's apparently it's very confusing to be a reflector, but this is a very rare energy type, like I said, that I haven't come across. So, oh, and their aura, they're literally reflecting since they don't have any, yeah,
In the essential nature.
yeah, any essential energy or nature. They're here to reflect back, yeah, the energy of the people around them. So these are the 5 energy types. Once you know what you are, it is good to like honor your energy. So if you're a projector, for example, try to rest more, and yeah, try not to be like a generator or a manifesting generator. But then all energy types also have their own strategy as to yeah, how to best make decisions or how to best attract things into their lives. What's correct for them, right? So the idea is if you follow your strategy, you will attract the right things. So for the generator and the manifesting generator, this strategy is called waiting to respond. So yeah, what it means is that we should not be initiating. So the sentence, you know, Nike's slogan, like just do it, is not for most people. It's actually only for manifestors, as we'll get to later. So for our energy type, it would not be correct if you wake up one day and you have an idea about something big. Let's say you want to change jobs, for example, to just go and do it without doing anything else. That would be incorrect. That's a manifestor should do that. They should initiate. What we should do rather is maybe write it down, the idea, or talk to someone about it, or maybe just like park it in the back of your head and then go about your day. Do whatever lights you up, because remember, you have to follow your desire as a generator. And then if you get like an external cue, like something from the universe, it can be everything. It can be someone talking to you about this. It can be you read a newspaper and you see, I don't know, a job ad, or you're scrolling on social media, you see something that like reminds you, or it's actually your gut feeling, your sacral that is like, oh yeah, this is what I wanted to do. Then you can go and take action, initiate, right? So this is very important.
Why can't I just take action? Why do I have to wait?
Well, because what makes us a generator or manifesting generator, I was talking about this battery or this gas tank that we had, right? So this is actually our sacral center, which is like your gut feeling. So this is where your like passions and desire and creativity are. And this is your most important part as a generator or manifesting generator, and you are meant to respond with your gut feeling to things.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it would always be good if you need to make a choice for someone to ask you yes or no questions, right? Remember that this is all about what is more natural to you. So for example, it's probably easier for you if I'd ask you, what do you want to eat tonight? Do you want to eat sushi or
to
pizza?
frame it in yes or no questions.
This is probably easier for you to answer than what is your 5-year plan?
Actually, I can answer a 5-year plan. No, you're right.
That's actually because you also have something which is specific manifestation, so you have a good idea. So that's maybe not. But like
no, but I get it. Sure. We
use
use it in hypnosis a lot. We say, now you can go into a trance very slowly, or you can go into a trance very easily or quickly. But yeah, I get it. Okay, so you need to give me double questions. So that I can
or no,
yes or no, so I can feel the answer.
Exactly, and your authority of making decisions should never be your mind, like for no energy type, because according to human design, it's actually your body or like your energetics actually that knows what's best for you.
It's true. Okay.
Yeah, this also differs per person. For example, for you, it is actually your sacral center. So for you, it's your gut feeling. So whenever you have to make a decision, which should be yes or no, you don't have to wait, you don't have to think about it. You should just connect to how it feels in your stomach, literally, and you will feel whether this is good or bad for you if you are connected. That's for you. For other people, it's different, right? Okay, so our type really needs to respond. You should see that everything we do should be like a dance with the universe, right? We should respond to things always. It's as if the universe is like handing you things on like a silver platter, like, do you want
This is specifically for manifestors and generators, or all of us?
Generators and manifesting generators.
So generators and manifesting generators, we should dance
with the universe, yes.
with the universe.
Yes.
And okay, why does that differ specifically from what projectors and reflectors and manifestors should do?
Because we all have different purposes, right? So if I continue what the rest needs to be doing, so it has to do with your purpose. So a manifestor, remember that their purpose was they're visionaries. They need to initiate new things.
Okay, so they initiate.
They initiate. For them, that's the only energy type. So it's like 7 or 8% only that can just wake up, think of something, and go and do it. And they just have to inform people around them. They don't have to ask permission. They don't have to wait for the universe. It's correct for them to just do it. So Nike just do it. It's only for them, right? Then the projectors, like I said, because they see things so specific, you know, they have this eye for efficiency. They should wait to be invited. They should wait for the invitation. Like I explained this a bit before, because not everyone is ready to hear what they need to hear, you know, in order to
Yeah.
Exactly. I think we all have experienced, but for projectors specifically, if they then come and share their knowledge, they will experience that other people resist that. Usually when I do a reading with projectors, this is like, apart from the energy part, that I have less energy than generators, this is usually the other big thing that they always say, oh my God, this is the story of my life, that they try to give advice to people, but it's like unsolicited advice, like these people didn't ask for it. And then they get like rejected, or their message doesn't get heard.
Okay, and what's the most common thing that you hear from, let's say, generators and manifesting generators? Let's say projectors are always giving unwanted advice.
Yeah.
What's a common failing or problem that a manifesting generator comes across?
Yeah, good one. I wouldn't call it failing or problem. I would call it something
Misalignment.
Misalignment that you can work on, that you can decondition. So the biggest one for us.
Decondition, that's good.
Decondition, yeah. It's basically not following your own sacral center, so not following your own passions and desires, so basically believing that you have to do things for others in order to be valued. They say that, like I said before, like the manifestors were like the conquerors, and the generators were their soldiers, right? So we had like all generators and manifesting generators have this like trauma that they had to like not follow their own desires, but like do what the manifestors wanted.
This is definitely
Of course.
the story of my life.
Of course. Yeah.
Very much so. This whole, and probably what you mentioned before, this whole playful growth is a realignment of that, what I consider. I want to decondition myself.
You should.
I'm deconditioning myself here at Playful Growth to follow my own joys rather than the joys of society or my parents. Or these things.
This is the biggest conditioning for generators and manifesting generators. But you know what's really cool about you and your design and Playful Growth? Two things actually. So there's one gate, that gates are something very specific that I don't think we have time to get into today, but it's like energy that you have or you don't. And if you're aligned, you feel it. If you're conditioned, maybe you have to like find it back. But you have gate 25, which is actually childlike enthusiasm. So
Gates 25?
gate 25.
How many gates are there?
64. Yeah, I would need to give you a reading to like discuss all the gates.
Yeah.
But gate 25 is like one of my favorite gates. I have it as well, which is like the capacity to see and experience life with childlike enthusiasm. So it's people who can get really excited or enthusiastic by literally everything. Like if you would go on a walk, like you could be as excited about a tree that you see that's beautiful as you could be about a person. Or
I should write this on the door here.
you should.
Gate,
Yeah.
gate 25.
Gate 25. Yeah, it's one of my favorite gates. It's a very cute gate, I would say. But this is all about having childlike enthusiasm. So to me, that sounds like being playful as well. And then there's also something else, because we also have something in human design which is called profile, which is it's basically your archetype, you could say. Like if your life was a theater play or a movie, then your profile would be the actor, the role that they would play as you, right? And the profile consists of 2 numbers. Yours.
2 numbers.
Yes. Yours is a 6-2. And what's really cool about a 6-2 is that those people are meant to become the adult that they wanted to be when they were a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I got shivers.
Yeah, it's really cool, right?
I got shivers there.
Shall I tell you something more about 6-2?
Sure.
I think it's always fun to hear things about yourself. So
Yeah, they love it. Yeah, but that does sound sort of like my life mission. There you go.
Of course, because human design is amazing, I told you.
I shouldn't laugh there, but go on. Yeah, you're doing pretty well. Yeah.
Of course. All right. So a 6-2, they usually have like 3 phases in their life. So the first phase is more or less until you're 30, and you're meant to experiment a lot. Like you're meant to try a lot of different things, have a lot of experiences, learn through trial and error. But yeah, so you really have to go through things and experience them rather than learning from books or study things. You really get wiser by going through things yourself. So that should be the first like part of your life, and it could feel a bit like a roller coaster maybe. And then the second part, which is between your 30s and 50s or so, I believe. So that's where you're in now. You are meant to become a bit more calm, like a bit less wild than before. And you're meant to like integrate all those experiences and look a bit more inward. And usually people in that phase start to do something with those experiences. So usually people like start a business or start to provide services that from things that they've learned from their experiences in the first part, right? So that's the second part. And then from your 50s or 60s onward, you're meant to like step into this role model person or role. So the idea is that you won't be this like teacher or guru or someone that is like authoritarian, but it's more like just the way you are, and by everything that you've lived through, people will see you as a role model and like someone that they look up to. Someone's alarm is going off. Yours or mine? Maybe it's mine.
Yours.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know what else to do. Okay.
What was it? Sit down there. Think it. It's great.
Well?
Yeah, well, it looks really good. As long as I'm in that picture, then it's great.
Great. So you as a 6-2, this is a bit your like life path if you like live in alignment. And usually people that are 6-2, they are usually born wise, like a bit like wise beyond their years. And they usually have quite an idea also from when they're young onwards as to the kind of person they want to become. So I don't know if that resonates.
I was born wise. You couldn't tell. Look at me now, but I was born very wise. Then I had to do the whole Joker thing to disimular, they say in Spanish,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So I was read a lot when I was a kid. I was about 13 or 14.
You read a lot.
Yeah,
That's
a lot.
actually the 2 in your profile. 'Cause like I said, it was 6-2. So this whole role model thing is more the 6. And the 2, they call that one the hermit. and that means that you also need time for yourself to like retract and do your thing. And people who are 2 are also often considered a bit like genius. They're good at something, and then other people usually don't really understand how they got good at it, or they themselves also, like, you cannot really explain how you get good at something.
That's very interesting. Because I am a hermit. I spend most of my time by myself.
Okay.
And I'm very good at singing. But I just sang, and that was it. It was like my
Exactly.
talent.
Yeah, so this is exactly the 2 in your profile.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, you're doing well.
Thank you.
You
It's not
can-
me, it's the system.
All right, system. You're doing well. You're tricking me good into believing you, system.
Exactly.
Okay, very good. And you?
Yeah. I'm a generator.
Hmm.
And something that has helped me a lot, or something that, made me believe, it's not really believe, but why I saw the use of human design, that it could help me a lot, is something that has to do with emotions, which I can also explain a bit further, because it's a very important topic in human design, and it's very interesting, and I think it can help people a lot. So in general, about half of the people, about 50%, is what we call in human design an emotional person. Because there's one center that's called emotional solar plexus. If you have it defined, you're an emotional person. If you have it undefined, you are non-emotional in human design. I am an emotional person. You are non-emotional. Let me explain what it means. So emotional people like me, we are never in a calm, neutral emotional state. We have our own emotional waves, so to say. So I'm always either somewhere high up on my emotional wave, or down, or somewhere in between, right? Neutral doesn't exist for me. But I don't know any better, so this is just how I am. So I'm a moody person. So this is the first thing too that I accepted when I heard about my design. I was like, oh, okay, because I would get frustrated, like, like, what's my problem? Why am I down today when everything is perfect? So yeah, we are never neutral. Then, like, the non-emotionals, like you guys, of course, if something happens in your life, if something causes an emotion, of course you have an emotion, everyone has that. But like your general emotional state, if you were all by yourself, not influenced by anyone else, and you're just alone in nature or wherever and nothing has happened, your emotional state should feel like neutral, like a calm lake.
Calm lake sounds like a nice metaphor for what I feel. But yeah, I definitely think I'm non-emotional. I agree
You
with
are.
that.
Yeah, you are.
How do you know I'm non-emotional? Did you read it? Or do you
Because
just
I
know?
checked your chart.
Oh, it actually says I'm non-emotional.
Yeah. All these things I can see in your chart. Yes. Okay, so listen up. So
Scared. I'm scared.
no,
I'm
this,
scared.
this is very cool. So I'm an emotional person. I'm always on my emotional wave, right? You are non-emotional, so it means like you don't have your emotional wave of your own. When you're all by yourself, you should be neutral. However, when you are surrounded by other people, like emotionals, and remember that 50% of the population is emotional, so yeah, every other person you meet, you actually can sense and amplify the emotions of an emotional person, and you sense them even more. So let's say if you are connected and aligned. So let's say I would come in today and I would feel a bit down, and if I would have to like rate my downness on a scale of like 0 to 10, where 0 was very down and 10 was very happy, for me it would feel maybe like a 5. Like, it's like, okay, I'm not very happy, I'm not down, I felt like this before, it's a 5. But for you, since you don't have your own emotional wave and you're amplifying my emotions, you would probably feel my sadness as if it was a 3.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That's why I can't spend so much time with people unless when I have this need to pull people up. which is a selfish need sometimes. It's just because I suffer more when people are like, you know, if you're in a 5, I'm like, oh, it really drags me down.
Exactly. You are way more sensitive. Also, remember, it's your purpose also as a manifesting generator to lift people up anyway. But also, you take in all these emotions from other people. And therefore, it's very important for like non-emotional people like you to later on, when you're by yourself again, find a practice to like release those emotions that are not yours. So in this scenario, if I was here and I brought you this like down feeling, which I'm not even aware of, and then when I leave, it's important for you to like find a way, whether it's to dancing or walking or meditating or singing, whatever, to like get back to yourself, to get back to that neutral state, right? So if you don't know this can feel like overwhelming for people, for non-emotionals. So this is another thing that is like very helpful. And actually we all need each other, because me as an emotional person, I'm not aware of my emotional wave because I don't know any better, you know? I've always had that. So I need non-emotionals to tell me how I feel. This has happened to me, that I walk into a friend's house and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What's up?" You know, and like 5 minutes later I'm crying. Like they yeah, like they can sense it. So this has been super helpful for me, and also for me as as an emotional person to take decisions. I should never take a decision in the moment. So remember, you have to just listen to your gut feeling, and you feel like a yes or a no. For me, that sounds great, but for me, it doesn't work like that. Since I'm always on my emotional wave, I cannot trust how I feel at this moment because I don't know where I am in my emotional wave. And this is the story of my life, that I would commit to things because in the moment I feel super enthusiastic. And then an hour later, I would be like, why did I say yes? So how this works in practice, for example, this happens to me all the time, is that I am with someone and they propose me something. They say like, let's go on a trip, or let's go out tonight. And in the moment, I think, yes, that's great, fantastic. And I go like, yeah, let's do it. Let me actually organize it. Let's go tonight, 8 p.m. we do it. And then I walk home, and then I get like all down, and I'm like, why did I do that? I don't want to go out. This is actually the opposite of what I want. And then I don't understand myself, or I get mad at myself. And
Wow.
this really
That's completely alien
to you.
concept to
Yeah,
me.
of course. Yeah, because you just feel, if you're aligned, and I guess you're pretty aligned since you're like, I think you're quite embodied in like your reactions. For you, probably you just know, right? I don't know if you have. Can you think of any examples where maybe when you were younger, or maybe where you didn't follow your gut feeling? And
Yeah, loads of examples. But one thing I do notice is I don't have a, you know, if you read development or psychological books, when they mention about regretting having said something in the past or reliving moments above in your head of embarrassing social moments, I don't have that. I never had it.
You never had it.
I've never had it's saying, it seems to be such a common meme where people, have you been feeling about this and you wish you didn't say that? I've never had that. If I've said anything, I've just said it and I moved on.
Oh yeah, I have that every 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's
Well,
I can imagine you might, you know.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that related somehow to generator, or is that just something I learned, or what is that?
Well, I would have to look at your chart a bit better, but what I could say is like, if you are very aligned and you're usually following your gut feeling and you make decisions that are correct for you in that moment, then probably there's nothing to be ashamed of, or it's not really wrong, right? That's
I think that's it. I think a lot of times my intention, as much as I understand them, are just for everyone to get very Irish as well. Just for everyone to have a nice time and to get along well and have a nice conversation and laugh a bit and not take themselves so seriously. And so when that's misinterpreted, or it doesn't really bother me. It's like, well, what can I do about that? You know what I mean? But I think a lot of people don't live that kind of.
I mean, it also just sounds like you're very confident in.
Could just be I'm very confident. Yeah.
Well, I think the more you are aligned and the more you're living out like your true self, your true essence, which is what human design is all about, the closer you are to like your authentic nature, the less something can like really bother you. You know, if you are sure you don't need any validation from outside in order to feel good, because you're living out who you came to be, then it makes sense to me that you know, it wouldn't really bother you as much. But in general, it just sounds like you're confident with what you're doing. I don't know, has it always been like that?
I think I read a lot when I was a kid, so I had a lot of external references in my head of, you know, I wasn't
Yeah.
so worried about social conditioning when I was young because I had so many imaginations and characters in my head. Then when I was 15, 16, 17, I worried a lot about what people think.
Yeah,
I think
which is normal.
I think that's
Yeah.
normal. Yeah. What would you say that most people get out of a human design reading? When if they come to you, what is it what do they generally come away with?
Yeah, so they generally come away with understanding themselves better, but they usually come to a reading, well, either they're just curious, but usually people come to a reading with kind of a specific question or something. Usually the people that I attract for some reason are people that want to find out what their purpose is, or they want to make a change in their like professional career, or they're not really sure how to pivot like in their careers, and then human design can really help you with like remembering what your, you know, your innate strengths and gifts are, because maybe those are different than what we've learned in school. You know, the things that we all learned. If you're good at math or whatever, you know, you can get very far. But maybe you were very good at, I don't know, nurturing, for example, and in your mind, you're like, well, that doesn't sound like something, you know, I can develop myself in and make a career out of.
And it's important then that once people refine their essence, that they take steps to to surround themselves with the types of people or situations or activities that suit that person.
Yeah, so the main thing what you can do with human design, because it's like it's very extensive. Like I can go on, if I have your chart, I can go on hours and hours and tell you things, and it gets very specific. But like the main thing, if you want to have a starting point, is understanding your energy type. So those 5 energy types, understanding how your energy works. So as a generator and manifesting generator, do more things that light you up. As a projector, honor when you need to rest, etc. That's the main thing. Then you have your strategy, which is how you, how you track things. So remember, like to respond, like dance with the universe, as we have to do,
Like
or
that.
initiate as a manifestor, or wait for the invitation as a projector. And then a third thing that we didn't really, we touched upon it a little bit, is your authority. So that is your inner way of making decisions. So that's for you. You have sacral authority, so you just listen to your gut feeling. For me, I don't have to make any decisions in the moment. I need to like sleep a night, or like wait until I understand my emotional wave before I commit to something. And there are a couple of different ones. Some people need to talk things out literally to come to a decision, or some people have a very strong intuition. They just need to follow their intuition, right? So this is the third thing, your authority. So if you just honor your energy type, strategy, and authority, that will get you very far. Like if you really try to implement that,
Energy type.
yeah, strategy and authority. So in your case,
Thank you. Let's summarize. Let's wrap this up with it.
exactly,
Tell me what to do.
What to do, yeah. So in your case, energy type, generator or manifesting generator, we're not sure, but it's the same. Don't sacrifice your own desires or what you want to do for others. Don't try to please others, because it's actually your your purpose is to lift people up by just simply following your creativity and desire and your passion. That's your energy type. Then your strategy is to respond. So don't go out and initiate things, but rather wait for the universe to give you like clues or like keys, and respond to that with your sacral center. And with your sacral, your gut feeling, if you need to make a decision, you just simply have to listen to your gut. Don't think it over. Don't try to come up with like your mind is good for a lot of different things, but not to make decisions for no one. So just follow your gut. So these three things for you are the most important ones. And if you do that, your life should feel pretty good. You should feel in like a flow state more often. You shouldn't be encountering that much resistance. And you should attract like the right things, people, and opportunities into your life.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I hope it was helpful.
It was helpful. May have to think about it now. And can you tell us where we find you? What are your plans for the future? Where is the Human Design Road taking you?
Yeah, definitely. So you can find me on Instagram, which is my full name, which is Jessica Buning. I'm currently doing readings with people, so if people want to get like a one-on-one reading, so we did a very like tiny bit, but like a full reading will take like 1.5 hours. Then I will explain you all about your chart. And what I also do, which is actually what I like most about human design, is like I do compatibility readings. So like two people in a relationship, or people who work together in a team, or families, people with their children. I just do a reading, maybe one for the person and then for the other one, or together, and you can see like where you complement each other, why you are attracted to one another, why you have certain areas where don't really match. That's actually my favorite part.
Super.
Yeah, and I will be doing a workshop at your program.
It's true. This will be doing a human design workshop for our Yoga for Men program beginning June 24th. Okay, thank you very much, my dear. Mwah.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thanks for having me.
You're way more structured and organized. Now, the end. You're bye.